Hi guys, and welcome to my new video of how to become associate Android developer series. If you saw my other videos, we are following a study guide given to us by Google. Right here, study guide. We've finished Android core and we're beginning with user interface. Okay, today we're gonna be working on build a responsive UI with constrained layout, and also do a couple of the code labs. The first one, the ones before Recycle View, because next video I will be talking about Recycle View. All right, so let's read here. The first one is constraint layout. Okay, so constraint layout is relatively new to Android. It was introduced a few years ago, and I've said that before. This study guide is kind of outdated, from 2018 mostly, and so it was kind of new back then. So they want us to learn that. Now it comes actually with it. It shows you here that they wanted to import Google, put Google in repository and put implementation in order to use constraint layout, but it's no longer true. Let's just start new project in few seconds, and you'll see it's already included, so you don't have to do that. So today we will be working on this app right here, where you can click on the button. It takes you to another activity, and on the second activity, you're going to see two other buttons, +1 and -1. If you click on +1, the score will go up. If you click on -1, score will go down. And those buttons are round. We're going to learn how to make any button round like this. Yeah, so let's start working on it. Okay, so let's see. They want us to talk about. Let's start a project to begin with. Start new project, empty activity, my views. How to call it? My views. My views is, call it any way you want. We're going to be working with a lot of views, constrain them to each other. But in the meantime, while it's loading, let's see what they want us to do first. So image view. Okay, we can do all of that. Okay, so let's go to activity main XML, and if you know, activity main XML is connected to main activity Kotlin file. So these two files are together, right? And this is just the design one, and this file is actually the coding file. So let's delete hello world, and what you see here is, as I mentioned before, it comes with constraint layout. However, you can change it to any other layout you want. If you right click right here on design, so I am on design right here, see design side of it, so right click on it, and it says here somewhere convert view. If you click here, you can pick linear layout, click apply, and now we have linear layout horizontal, which you can also actually switch for linear layout, convert orientation to vertical if you want, so you can do that. But let's just switch back to, I just wanted to show you how to do that. Oh, by the way, you can also change it. Let me switch back to convert view to constraint layout, apply. Now let's switch it to code, and I'll show you how to do the same thing. Switch from constraint to linear layout. Layout is just, you delete this part right here and start typing linear. Oh, here we go, popped up. Twice layout. Boom. Now if you go back to design, it's a linear layout. Very easy, right? And main utility. Yeah, you can. So now it's horizontal, but you can, as I showed you, you can switch to vertical if you want to. But let's change it to constraint layout again. Convert view, apply. So constraint layout. Let's talk about views, right? Because our app is about views in constraint layout. Let's put 2 image views in here. Doesn't matter where. Okay, so in constraint layout, you have to connect each view horizontally and vertically. You have to do it, otherwise it will be going to 0, 0, which is right here in the corner. So let me show you how to do it. If you want to connect to parent vertically, you just drag like that, and then horizontally drag like that, or other side. You can connect on all sides if you want to, on 3 sides, but the minimum is horizontal. Minimum is 2, horizontal and vertically. Now, in that study guide, they also tell us how to connect them, how delete. Okay, so what if you want delete constraints on this particular view, for example? There are 2 ways to do it. You either select this connection and click delete on your phone on your computer, or let's delete the vertical. Or you can go here to constraint widget and click right here. It will be disconnected the same way. So either way, whatever is more convenient for you. Now, see how straight this line is? It means you put this view 148 dp from the parent, and no matter what screen you're working on, small screen, big screen, cell phone, it will have that 148 dp. So it's right there, you can see it's concrete, a written in stone number. Now, if you, let's say, instead of that, connect it like that, now see how wiggly it is? It's because there are two opposite powers pulling this view from both sides. That's why it's wiggly. It's no longer straight. Okay? So, see the difference right here? Vertically, it's 124 dp, but here we have it pulling it from both sides. Now, let's talk about margins. Let's say you want to have margin, like here we put 124, right? Automatically. But you can also put 24 on this side, and let's say on left side, only 8. Let me disconnect this one. See how it doesn't go all the way to the left? It's because we put margin left. We can put 32. We can put any number we want, but that's how you do. You put this margin right here, and then your view will be staying like that. Okay, so another thing they want us to talk about here is bias, but they also wanted us to talk about guidelines, and let me show you how guideline work. Oh, and by the way, if you want to, let's say you have several views, of course. In your app, you should have text view, image view, all kind of things. So you can connect, let's say this view, you don't have to connect it directly to parent view. You can connect it to this view now, and that's how it works, see, like this. And you can also put here any margin between them you want. Now, this second view, you can also connect to the parent, or if you don't want to do that, check this out. You can connect it to this view edge like this. You drag it right here, and see now they're on the same line like that, vertically, because you connected this edge to and you can tell it on the screen. This edge, left edge, start of this one. And since we have both of them have vertical and horizontal connection, you don't have to put any other connections. You have to, you can if you want to, but you already have one vertical, one horizontal, and it's fine. But if you want to, you can start, designing more. But they're fine like that. Now let's talk about guidelines, and let's talk about these two buttons. What this one does. This one clears all constraints. So if you click here, it asks you once again, do you want to delete it? Say yes, and then none of the views will have any constraints. You deleted them. What this button does is actually infer constraints. If you click here, now computer decides, or Android Studio decides what kind of constraints. So they're going to stay in place the way you left it there, but Android Studio will decide what to hook to what. And you have no control over that. And why is it convenient? If you just start designing new app, this helps you a lot because you don't have to be meticulous there. You can concentrate on coding part, and then when you're done coding, then you can go back to design and make it nice so it looks good on small and large screen sizes. So those two buttons, let's do it again actually. And what we're gonna learn is how to use guideline. Right here, there's vertical, horizontal. Let's do vertical guideline right here. So it shows you arrow pointing this way. You can do this way, 63 dp. If you click on it again, or you can count from the right side, 348 dp. Or what's even more convenient, if you click one more time, it shows you percentage. So it shows on the left 15%, right here, see, you can see exact. And then the rest will be on the right side. Now let's, for example, we want 20%. So we put 0.20 and see it change. So 20% will be on the left side and the rest will be on the right side. Why is it important? Well, now we can actually hook the views not to the parent, but we can hook to the guideline and do margin from guideline too, if we want to, see? Now we can, let's say you want your app have some space on the left for whatever reason. And so guideline is very convenient for that purpose. Now let's add also another guideline, which is horizontal guideline. And this one will also do percentage. Instead of 2%, where is that? So instead of 8% now, we're going to say 30%. So 0.30. And so 30 will be on this side, and the rest, 70%, will be on this side. So now we can hook up this view to this guideline. And this view, we can also hook up to this view by dragging like that. And given margin, we can give margin. There you go. See? Now if we run it, it's going to look the same way as we just designed it because we give horizontal and vertical constraints to both views. Okay, what else? Okay, so this one here. This button here gives you constraints. As soon as you give constraints here, from this point on, it will give constraints to every view to whatever you say. Let's say 16. And let's say I put button here. And I hook it up to guideline. I hook it up to this view. This button will have now margin of 16 dp from this view and from this guideline to wherever I hook up. Let me see another one button, let's say. If I hook those two up, if you notice right here, it also has a margin of 16 because we put it right here. So from this point on, every time we do something, we hook up, it will have that margin 16 dp. If I change it, let's say I put now 24. Now if I put any other view there or button, now it will have 24 on both sides or all sides, wherever you hook it up with. 24, see? 24, 16. Now, me personally, I don't like doing that. I rarely use this because I like personally give margins to each view I work on. But it's maybe handy to have for some projects. So what else we need to work? Okay, so what is this one? This one gives you blueprint, so you can see how it looks like on blueprint, or design and blueprint like that. I like design personally. Okay, what else they want us to talk about here? Okay, baselines. How to hook up. Let's say you have to. Let me actually delete everything. We don't need this. It's too much. Delete. Let's say you have two text views. Let's make it bigger and write, let's say, first name here. First name. Make it bigger. Say like 30. And then we're gonna have this one here, also 30. This one will be last name. Now check this out. See how they are on different levels, right? Now, so I have Mac. If you select both of them, for me it would be Command, and then I select both of them like this. Then if I right click and pick Align, sorry, computer is slow. Align baselines, pick that. They will be on the same level as the text is. So the text will be on the same level. Why is it important? Well, let me show you something. Let's say this box right here. Let's give it height of, instead of 30, let me see, it's the text size. Where's the, okay, so right now it's layout with layout height wrap content, right? Let's give it 100 dp size. See what happens? The text stays on the same level. Even so, this box text view and this text view, they're different height, but for the user, they're gonna see this text on the same level, and it's very convenient. That's why it's important. Another thing, I think that's the last thing I need to tell you. And by the way, if you so select both of them and right click and go to Align, you have a choice of, you can let's say not just baselines. Let me just delete so select both of them, right click, and then go to Align. You can if you click left edges, they're going to be aligned by left edges. Now let me drag it back, select all of them. Let's try something else. Align right edges. Boom, see, they're aligned by right edges. Let's see, align bottom edges. Boom, bottom edges. So you have this option. Now, two more things I need to show you: how to change something, and also how to proportionally. So let's say I want, instead of giving it wrap content or give it 100 dp for, let's say, this view right here. What if I want it to be proportionate? Let's say I want width be half of height, or height be half of width, something like that. The way you do it is you go to, so one of them, width or height, has to be 0 dp. So let's say this one will be 0 dp. As soon as it do that, check this out. In constraint widget here, we have this corner popped up. If you click on it, you see this ratio 1 to 1. Now, this ratio can be changed to whatever you want. Let's say 1 to 2. And then we see width would be 1 unit, and the height would be 2. So it's ratio 1 to 2. Or you can do the other way around. 2 to 1. Oops. 2 to 1, like this. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to use 1. You can do like this. You can do 3 to 5. So it gives you 3 to 5. 3 here and 5 here. That's the proportion. And so it's kind of useful tool, you know, keep in mind. Or 9/10. Let's do 9/10. So it's about the same size. 9 this way and 10 this way. It's not specific. Once again, it's a ratio. It's not specific to inches or anything. It's a ratio. But as I said, one of the heights or width, one of them has to be 0 dp in order for you to do that. So another thing I would like to show you, let me delete this too. Command delete, is chaining. So chaining is convenient when you have several things. Let's say 3 buttons. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna select all of them. Right click, and you know what, let me delete the constraints that I have. Okay, so select all of them, right click, chains. Now you can do create horizontal chain or vertical chain. Let's say horizontal chain. And so now they're evenly, in fact, let me show you what they're talking about here. Chains, where are the chains? So there are several ways of chains. Number one would be, they call it spread chain. The views are evenly distributed. Spread inside chain, when A and C will be to the edges. Then another one is, what is the packed chain? So let me, you know what, I don't think we have, yeah, I can do the third one too. Let me show you. So the way you change it is you right click when they're all selected, chains, horizontal, and then you pick spread. That's what we have right now. You pick spread inside, like that, and chains, horizontal, packed would be when they're together like this. And then the other one they're talking about, number 3, is, I believe, have to give one of them or all of them. Let's say this one, you have to give width of 0, like this. See, and then this will take space. Okay. Okay, good. Let's talk. Let's work on projects now, right? I think we talked about everything. Let's delete everything, and let's. Since we talked about guidelines, let's add vertical guideline, and let's say we're gonna put it. Now we have 49 dp right here. See, but I want it percentage wise. I want, let's say, 0.17%. I want on the left, and then I'm gonna add a vertical guideline. Oh, I did already vertical. I'm sorry, I have 2 verticals. Let me stop here. So this one we said, what, 17, I believe. Sorry about that. Exactly 17. And we need horizontal. Add horizontal guideline. This one will be, let's say, 20% from top on top, and the rest, that's where we're going to put views. There we go. Now we're going to hook up text view. Let's make it bigger. $24. I'm going to write to next activity. And we're going to hook it up to guideline over here, horizontal and vertical guideline. And we're going to have 32 on top and 24 at start, so that's okay. And we're going to also add button. And here I want to use this button now. Remember that that will be giving us from now on, let's say 24. Click 24 and then put button here, connect to the view, text view, and to the guideline. You see, it gives us 24 on each side. Alright, so we have that button, and what's the ID? Button 7. Okay. Now let's go to main activity file and let's find that button. Oh, we need to add the second activity, of course. Go to the package, right click, new activity, empty activity, main activity 2 is fine. And so you know what I'm doing now, I'm actually working on Codelab, so we're done with this. Was the constraint view preview basically, and we're gonna work on, where's the activity? Codelab, sorry, activities and intents. So go to different activity, and then we're gonna work on themes and final touches. We're gonna add background to 2 buttons. So for right now, let's find that. Okay, so we have second activity. Great. Let's go to main activity that is connected to the main file right here. Activity main XML. Let's go to main activity and find that button. Remember it was button 7, I believe. Start typing button. Yeah, button 7. Dot set on click listener. And inside here, if somebody clicks on that button, we want something to happen, and we want to take user to second activity. The way you do it is, it's always this, most of the time the same. We say val intent equals intent capital I, open braces, and say this, because we're going from this activity. Where are we going? We're going to main activity 2, which is this one right here. Activity 2 plus Java. All right, and start activity intent, the one we just created. So let's run it. It should work. So this is already ready project, and the project we're working on right now is loading. All right. So if you click this button, it takes us to the second activity. Now let's work on the second activity. Here we're gonna put text view, where instead of text view we're gonna write second activity. Let's make it bigger. Text size is, say, 30. And let's, so if we connect it to the parent like that on each side, then automatically it will be in the middle here. But here on top, we're gonna say, actually it shows me 24. 24 is fine. 24 DP size. I mean, the margin sounds like perfect. Now we need go to buttons and pick image button. Oh, before we do that, we actually need to create two images, the +1 and -1. So go to res, drawable, right click on drawable, and we need new vector asset. Here, actually, you know what? Yeah, click here, and then here we can let me see, plus. Okay, here you go. Search for plus. Click this one. Okay, and here let's change it just to IC plus. IC_plus. Enter. Finish. And then let's do minus. The same thing was minus. New vector assets. Click on that one. Let's look for minus. What's going on, Andrea? Oh, ask Alisa. All right, minus. It doesn't show. How did we find it? I think we put plus before, right? Let's find it by. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's plus. But it's minus. I like -1. Deduct. No. That. No. Let's see, minus. Okay, I found it here. Click that. Okay, and let's call it IC minus. All right, so now we have two images here, plus and minus. Let's add two image buttons. So go to buttons, image button, put it right here. Here we're going to pick +1, this one. And the second image button we're going to add here. Here we're going to pick -1. All right, great. All we need to do is just text view. Where's the text view? Put here. And let's make it bigger too. Text view will be 30, like that. Maybe too much, huh? Let's do 24. All right, so now let's do this. Let's create a chain. Click on each of them. Right click. Let's see, I didn't go. 1, 2, 3. Well, you know what, let me delete. So let me first like that. Clear constraints. Now we can do again. Pick this one, and this one. And we can do chains now. Chains, and we're gonna pick create horizontal chain. There you go. And then click again while they're all selected. Align. Let's do bottom edges. How about that? That's good, right? Text view, we actually don't need text there. Do that. Maybe put 0 or something. Yeah. All right, so should be good for right now. Let's do the coding. Let's go to main activity 2 Kotlin file that is connected to this one right here. this this one. So, and here we need to find those two buttons. So let's say what let me see, what's the ID for this button here? This one is image button, and this one is image button 2. Okay, fair enough. So let's start typing image button. Same thing as we did with other set on click listener. And let's do the second button here too. Image button 2 dot set on click listener. So now we have to put something inside there, right? And so if somebody clicks on +1, it has to increase the score. But we need to also have a variable for that score. So here, global variable for the whole class. Actually, we're gonna put count. Var count equals 0. So we're gonna start with 0. And then in onCreate, where we have those image buttons, we're gonna write count ++, which means every time somebody clicks, the count will be one number higher, bigger. And then we're gonna say this text view right here. What's the name of that text view? Text view 2. Let's find that. Text view 2 dot text equals count. But here it will give us error because you can't just display, it has to display string. So we have to say dot to string. And so same thing we're gonna do with the second button, except it's gonna count down. So it's gonna be count minus, and then text view 2 dot text equals count dot to string. So let's run it now. Once again, this is that's what we want. We want this. It's still loading, installing. All right, so first view, click on the bottom. Takes us to, okay, so you see the mistake we just didn't do? We didn't connect it vertically. Activity main, let's go straight. Let me see. Yup, we didn't connect it vertically. So we need to, we made a chain, horizontal chain, but we didn't connect vertically. So since it's a chain, we actually don't need to connect each of them. We only have to connect this one like this and give, let's say, size 32, size DP count, DP. Now, I said something wrong. Not just because it's a chain. If it's chain, it's fine. But over here, we also connected them by their button. Their button. Remember, right here, this button connected to this button on the same. They have to be on the same level. So if we give constraint just to this one right here, those two views, so text view and this second button, they get the same constraint vertically from this one right here. So you don't have to give them any vertical constraints because we connected bottoms. They're going to be on the same level with this button right here. And because this button has vertical constraint, they're fine. So let me run it. If that makes sense to you. I hope it did make sense to you. but you'll see you don't need to once they're on the same level, and you give one of the views constraint vertical, those two views they will be fine. They will have the constraint from that first one. Okay, so I'll click on the button, and so that's what we have here. Okay, so if you click here on this button, it count goes up by 1, and this one goes down by 1. To string, what else we need to do? That. You know what I noticed when I was, so if you go to 0, or let's say if you go from 9 to 10, it adds 2 digits, right? And so it kind of doesn't look good when you see how they, because we created chain, they move. But it doesn't look good. So the way you deal with it, see this one right here, the text view that changes its view all the time, I mean the size, from 1 digits to 2 digits, and then if you go to 100, it's going to be 3 digits. If we give it, instead of wrap content, we'll give it, let's say, specific size, let's say 70 dp, and might as well 70 dp, this vertically and horizontally. Maybe not horizontally. Maybe just like that. And we're gonna click here, text alignment in the middle. That should fix the problem. Let's run it again. So we're done with that. It's just only one thing left, is the give it a round shape, just like you see there. So click on the button. So you see, it doesn't change the distance between the views. Okay. Yeah, so let's go back to study guide over here, and code labs, themes, and final touches. They want us to that's how you change the button shape. New drawable resource. So let's go here, drawable, new drawable resource folder, and they want us to name it button background. All right. New yeah, we did that. Okay, well, add this here. So click here. Okay, I'm doing something wrong because it's a little bit outdated. Open button background XML, click text. Code. Okay, all right. So okay, go to that file we just created, bottom background XML, and click on code. I wasn't design. I didn't see anything. And so they want us to delete everything except the top part, and add this one right here, the one that gave us shape. Click shape right there. So what it is, it's main thing is two things here. Three things actually. Oval. By oval they actually mean a circle, even so it says oval. Width would be width of how thick will be the line, and color, this is the color of the button. Let's see, if I click on design, it will give us this oval. This is 2 dp thick, and this is the color. Now let's go to our activity main 2, and it's switch from design to code. Let's go to one of the image buttons, and we're going to start typing background. And here we're going to pick the file we just created, which is button background right here. And now switch to design again. See, it's changed, but it's small, and that's what they're talking about here. Next one, they say give it a size of 70, so it looks a little bit better. So let's go back to the code, and next line we're going to say, let me see, we might as well copy it. Copy, and next line we just paste it here, like this. And we can delete wrap content because it repeated itself. Now if we go to design, oh yeah, we have to do 70 each way. 70 width, let's do it right here, 70 width and 70 height, because we want it circle. It's oval, but if we do 70 and 70 each way, it's going to be like this, circle. Now let's do the same thing with this button here. So let's switch to code, and we're going to say start typing background, button background file. Width would be 70 dp, and height also 70 dp. Here we go. Switch back to design, and let's run it. And so this way you can change your buttons, make them more nicer. You can change it to green, red, whatever. We just, if you look at this file, if you click on code, you know, color primary, but you can also add, you know, find any color, put here hex color. Find on the internet the color you like and put that hex color there. Also width, we can change instead of 2, maybe in 4, 5, whatever, thicker. So right now it looks like this. See, that's what we've just created. Much nicer, except I don't like how this text view is kind of on the bottom. Let's see if we can realign it. And then that's it. So where are we? We need to go to main activity 2. Where's the second main activity? Okay, so let's think about it. They are connected by the bottom right there, right? What if we, in fact, what if we give a size, okay, let's see, what if we select all of them, clear constraints, let's do again chain, horizontal chain, and now we're gonna align, okay, horizontal centers, horizontal, that's not right. It would be align vertical centers. Here we go, vertical centers. That's perfect. Let's run it now. This is one of the longest videos I've done, and My daughter was already here crying, and so I think this would be it. So it's once again, this is my old app, and new one is loading right now. Okay. Click button. Oh, once again, I forgot to put the vertical. So this vertical connected vertically, and let's give it what happened here? I connected to something. Let me delete it. It's gonna say I clicked on something. Let me just delete constraints again for these three clear constraints. Then connect via chain. Chains create horizontal chain. Then, oh, and I didn't connect this one. Oh my god. Query all constraints again. Make sure I selected all three. Right click, chains, create horizontal chain. Now we're gonna right click again, align, was it vertical centers? Or that, and now I probably selected all of them. Let me click on this, what this one? Select this one and connect it to the activity and give it margin of 32. Perfect. So now we got this right. Now it's gonna look like this, except a little bit closer to second activity. I put margin 32, which is fine too. And when you work on, and I have a couple apps on Google Play. When you work on the app, it's gonna be like it takes you the whole day to make sure it's perfect to do that. So see, looks pretty well. Click this way, count, make sure. Yeah, see, it doesn't changes, and so. Thank you for watching this video. I'm sorry it's very long because we did actually 2 code labs and one subject. Next video will be only one subject, recycled use, which is very important.